Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a minute late.
No worries, it's fine. How is it going, Sachin?
Do it in public, you have nothing to hide. Start using the internet, join the ride.
It's going great. I think this week will be very intense. So, I mean, weekend I thought over a lot of things, So I've changed our business description because now we are doing so much in AI. So obviously, I thought it makes sense to describe ourselves as a AI hiring platform instead of just a remote intern marketplace. Because I also teach tech, so I thought it's better to present ourselves as an AI platform instead of just a remote intern marketplace. This is purely from the point of view of attracting investors. So yeah, so worked on the pitch deck and made some changes on the website. So now yeah, things are looking good.
Yeah, that sounds great. But I also wanted to ask you to remind everyone about what LeapRoom is, because we are going to use this material on Igor's channel as well. And could you
Okay,
please
okay, sure.
tell briefly, what LeapRoom does and what is it about?
So LeapRoom, right now our vision is to help startups in finding quality talent. What we've noticed is that startups struggle a lot in finding talent. And so we are basically building the AI hiring assistant for startups, where startups will be able to use our AI tools to find the right candidate for any role. And in this way, avoid any hiring mistakes, because I read a statistic today that 60% hiring mistake, 60% bad hires can damage your team's abilities. And I also read another statistic that a bad hiring mistake can cost any startup anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. So our goal is to help startups find the right talent for any role, be it an intern, be it a fresh graduate or a senior hire.
All right. And how did you find out this problem? Did you experience this yourself, or you were just researching the market and you found that it was existing?
So, initially, I started off as a remote intern marketplace, and when I was working with founders, I realized that intern is just a small part of the problem. The actual larger problem is the fact that startups are struggling to find quality talent. I mean, and if you are a startup, obviously you do not have the necessary connections with universities or with other talent partners to find quality talent. You are very much restricted to your own personal network or the network of the university from which you've studied. So the candidates that most startup founders are hiring are usually from their previous companies or from their universities. So we realized that, okay, why not give startups access to a global pool of candidates, and use AI to verify the skills of these candidates and match these candidates with startup founders based on their specific job description. So this is something which I figured, in the last few weeks that, maybe I should solve a bigger problem. It's a problem which is affecting, most founders all over the world.
And have you ever tried to hire interns by yourself? Because they are less
Yes, I have.
experienced than the guys who have some experience, and how it work for you, for this industry.
So yes, so I hired interns last year, and I used another platform in India specifically for it that is specific for interns. And I realized one thing. So I actually hired, I think I hired 10 interns, and out of those 10 interns, about 6 or 7, I had to fire them, within like in less than a month. Because so this was a problem back then also. I never thought deeply about it. But now in the last few weeks I realized, okay, this even other founders are also struggling, and founders were giving me appreciation for therefore helping them find the great candidates. So I thought, okay, might as well do something like this on a larger scale, to find quality interns, graduates, or senior hires who are the best fit for any role.
Yeah, you said you fired the majority of your interns that you hired, and did you come up with
Yeah.
some criteria that help you now to score all the interns that apply to the jobs? And gotta ensure that these guys will work for those startups who are hiring them. How do you ensure the quality of these interns right now?
So right now, see, as far as interns are concerned, interns are somebody from whom founders don't have too much expectations. The only expectations founders have is that the intern is, intern has the skill expertise. For example, if I'm hiring an intern who is good in React Native or who is good in digital marketing, they should have that experience, maybe in terms of projects or in terms of prior internships. So the way to do this in how is by designing assessment tests which are completely AI generated. So AI will generate an assessment test for any skill in tech, sales, or marketing for these interns or any candidate for that matter. And these candidates can take assessment tests and then leave a score based on their performance, right? So this is something which is missing in many platforms today, and by doing this, we are able to get a good idea about what skills these candidates who are applying for these jobs are really good in. So and this way we have a much more holistic understanding about the candidate as at the same time. So this way we are helping founders avoid these hiring mistakes because we are screening for skills and a whole lot of other things beforehand.
Yeah, so this AI I think sounds really interesting, but we'll talk about it a bit later. And let's get back
Yeah.
to May when the Nano Challenge took place. What did make you apply there?
So I saw a random LinkedIn post on my LinkedIn feed today. Not today. Back in April, I remember. So I saw that there's this challenge, and so I looked up the website of Paralect, and I saw that it's a 3-month challenge where you take part, and then there's a boot camp, and then there's an accelerator. And the thing that attracted me the most was the fact that it was targeted towards non-technical founders. So I was like, okay, this is the right fit for me because I know I'm good in business, sales, marketing, operations, anything non-tech. But tech is something which obviously I can't code. So that was the first thing I noticed. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect fit for people like me. So that's what made me to apply to the Nano Challenge, and I'm grateful I got in.
Yeah, and how long have you been working on your idea before applying? Because I was like following your journey only for this 2.5 months, and you seem to make a huge progress. But how did things go before Nano Grit?
So I had the idea had already come back in March actually, because I had a couple of interns and they were doing such a good job for me. So I thought, okay, yeah, I mean, I can find interns like this for many startups, but it was just an idea, honestly. I mean, I did not go proceed further than that. Thankfully, after getting into Nano, I actually started taking concrete steps to go from idea to validation, idea to user interviews to validation to finding customers to now building MVP. So it's in just 3 months we have actually gone from having an idea to now having a, a problem for which we are solving a really for which we are solving with the help of a great AI product. So in just 3 months it's been a huge learning curve.
Okay, and do you remember the exact time when you thought like, okay, this problem exists, I'm gonna solve it, it's validated, users need it. Do you remember when it was, or you're still trying to figure it out?
No, I had that eureka moment when, as I said, when I started, initial idea was to find interns, and I got many clients, so in June I got many clients. So in a span of 1 week, I was hiring, I was finding candidates for 2 roles for 2 clients, and in that 3,000 applications, and I had to spend 1 week just to go through all those applications, all those resumes, and I realized, what am I doing? Like, and I realized, if I'm a founder, if as a founder, if I'm hiring for any role, I'll get all these number of applications. I don't have time to go through these applications and find out who is good, who is not. I just want to focus on my business, on my product, on marketing, on investor relations. I'm not going to spend 1 week just on going through tens of thousands of resumes, So that is when I got the eureka moment, so it's a problem which I faced personally. So I was like, okay, if I'm facing this personally, let's talk to other people. I spoke to other people. I spoke to HR in big companies. I spoke to small startup founders, and everybody has this problem, like people at PayPal, they receive 100,000 applications for 200 roles. Last week, I spoke to another HR. She told me that she received like once she posts a job description on their website, they get like 10,000 applications in 1 week. So I realized that okay, screening is a huge problem, and at the same time, I realized that okay, if screening is a problem, how do I solve it? And it just struck me, so one day I was going through my Twitter feed and I saw a tweet from Lemlist founder, and he basically wrote a tweet on how he fired his chief of sales or something from by using Chat GPT. And I was like, okay, wow. So there's this huge problem, screening problem, which large companies, small companies, all of these people are facing. They're spending so many hours in screening. And here's this founder of a 10 million ARR company, and he is using Chat GPT to design screening tests for his candidates. I'm like, okay, wow, I can do this at scale. So that is how things, I connected in my mind.
Yeah, that's like a puzzle. Everything has
Yeah.
matched in your head. Okay, and you also mentioned that in June already you had some paying customers, but
Yes.
you didn't have the build solution yet at those time. So you made all the things manually, right?
Yes, I had to do everything manually.
And
And yeah, so it honestly is good, right? I mean, the more manually I did things, the more I understood the entire workflow of hiring talent, right? I mean, what I am doing manually for any startup founder, other founders are doing the same thing, right? So if I understand things how it is being done manually, it was easy for me to translate that into a product, and then use AI to remove the manual component. So
yeah,
it actually gave me a lot of insights, on how to build the product.
yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask, whether this manual processing of those CVs, whatever, influence on your future roadmap, or you
Mm.
have created the same feature set in your minds before starting the development, or your idea
No,
has evolved a little bit.
no. So idea evolved a lot. So I remember when we started discussing the beta app for LeapRoom, it was just a simple database, like simple database where there are candidates, and and the idea was that we will manually verify the skills of these candidates. It's a database, and founders or recruiters can come. They can simply create a job description, and we match them uh, uh, with with the candidates. It was a very simple idea. But then later on, after doing things manually, I realized, okay, this is it's too simple. I think I need to provide extra value. Because screening is one of the biggest problems in hiring. So that is how the idea evolved. It went from just a marketplace or a database of candidates to screening plus a screening assessment tools plus database. So this way we are giving a complete one in all in one platform for founders, to hire anybody.
Yeah, and did you manage to add this screening feature to your beta, or your beta stayed just as a database and you're adding features only now?
So in the beta, obviously these insights were actually towards the end of the bootcamp. I remember, to be precise, I think it was in the second last week of bootcamp. So by that time, the beta was ready. But but I had got these insights, and I shared them with my team. I'm like, okay, I've got these insights. I think we should do something in the post MVP or post beta in our MVP. So and then we started working on those things as well. So it was not there in the beta, but the moment we got these insights, we started. I shared it with the team at Parallect, and I mean, fortunately, they were also very excited about this, and we started actually thinking, ideating on how to do something like this in the MVP also.
Yeah, and so you have already gone through the Nano Challenge where you were building your early traction. You've gone through Nano Bootcamp where we were building this beta, and now you're in the accelerator. And it's been like the 1 week already. How did it go with
Yes.
you this first week of the accelerator?
So the first week of the accelerator was very intense because I'm actually working with team of 10, I guess, developers, designers, QA, and product managers. So all of us are basically talking to each other every day on how to, build the product. So last week, I spent the entire last week finalizing what our MVP should look like. So we had to, we went through each and every detail, small detail, like what the workflow should be for a candidate, what the workflow should be for an employer, and what features should be built right now, what features should be considered later on, what kind of pricing model should we use, uh, what what should be a target market. So all of these, so we discussed a lot of things. I also figured out my G2 and GTM and all that. So it was very intense in that sense.
And has your approach changed somehow? Because in the beginning, when we started to work on beta, you said you relied on the manual processes that were before, so it's helped you figure out some features. But now, working on the features for your MVP, has something changed? Do you take more user feedback into account, or how it works?
So with from the beta to the MVP, a lot of the things have been automated now. For example, generating job descriptions, screening candidates. We have automated all of this now. Initially, I remember during the beta, I was using ChatGPT to write the job description for my clients, and then I was personally screening the candidates. So now all of this part has been is going to be done in the MVP. I don't need to do all of that. There are few things which are to be done manually, but that is only because we are at an early stage right now. So obviously, once we start getting a large volume of clients, so we'll start building more features to automate a few other manual things as well.
And do you have any specific target of clients that you should reach in order to automate some things, or it's intuitively?
So right now, I don't have any specific number, honestly, because I just want to. I mean, I'm happy to do work with as many clients as possible. But yeah, I mean, I'd be happy. Maybe I think once I've worked with like 20-25 clients, I'll have a fairly good idea about how the product is doing. And statistically speaking, because obviously once you work with that number of clients, you get a every hiring process is more or less the same. So there will not be any marginal improvement in terms of idea, but I'll have a good idea about how to improve the product. So I think 20 is a good number to hit initially in terms of clients.
And how many, you're talking about paid clients, right?
Paid clients, yes. I mean,
And
for a platform, we have a free plan as well. So, I mean, I'd include the free clients as well because, as I said, the hiring process for whether it's a paid client or a paid client, it's the same, right? So, in terms of features, we'll be able to add better, and so by 20, I should get sufficient feedback.
and how many paid clients do you have right now?
Right now, I have three paid clients. Three paid
And
clients.
in what period of time do you target to achieve those 20?
So that 20, I want to achieve it in I mean, I'm already going to start working on this right now only because I don't want to wait for my MVP to get ready. So I'm going to start setting up campaigns, reaching out to customers. So I want to get it done in the next 2 to 3 months, honestly speaking.
Okay, and if we limit this time frame for 1-2 weeks, let's say 2 weeks, what's your like target, not only in terms of the paid clients, but what's your goal for the next 2 weeks?
For the next 2 weeks, my goal is to connect with investors and sort out few other things for LeapRoom. For example, I'll set up a search for co-founders if possible, and also applied. Like I've received I mean, just before talking to you, someone from Lightspeed reached out to me on LinkedIn. So, so I'm gonna talk to investors, and other than that, my goal for the next 2 weeks is to start my cold email outreach and start, as I said, I'm not going to wait for my product to get ready. I'm going to start getting more new clients, and because the more clients I'm getting, the more I'm able to understand how where the where I can use AI, where I can use a product. So I'm getting a lot more insights into the hiring process, and and plus more other information as well, right? For example, what kind of things clients want and all that. Last week, for example, I spoke to recruiters. I'm not targeting recruiters or enterprises right now in the early stages, but it's good to have an idea about what large company recruiters are also looking, right? Because this gives you an idea about what the product should look like 1 year down the line or 6 months down the line. Because it is helping me develop the product vision in my.
And do you expect any new paid clients over these 2 weeks? Or it's mostly
Over
about
the
setting up cold outreach and talking to investors? Why am I asking? Because in a week or two, I'm gonna make the same check-in with you, and I just want to be sure that you are moving towards your goals, how are things going, and just to see the progress.
So in the next 2 weeks, I don't think so, because the way cold email works is, so I just have my domains right now. So I'm going to put my domains in warm up. So the usual process is that you need to warm up your domains for 3 weeks. And after that, you can start sending out emails, right? So I already have 5 emails which have been warmed up, and I'm going to put 5 more domains in the warm up. So I expect to get at least one client for sure. And but as I said, my main focus is on investors and co-founder, because I want to set down the foundation block for the company, right? So that I can focus on what is important, what I'm good at, in sales, marketing, content. So I'm laying down the foundation blocks, and at the same time I'm doing cold outreach as well. So I think I should be able to get at least one more client in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, sounds great. And in terms of investors, do you have any specific goals, like finalize your pitch deck, or talk to the specific number of investors, or get to some exact points? What are your exact steps here?
So in terms of priority, my first priority is building my team. So either I'll get a co-founder, or I'll get a technical lead or somebody who can work besides me and so that's my first goal, because obviously even if I talk to an investor, this is something they'll be looking for. That's my first priority, so I have the search process for that. The second thing is, for investors, I'm targeting angels and micro VCs for now. And I just now found out that YC has an early application for
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I just received this
So
news 1 hour ago. So
So
that
I'm applying to that as well. So because, but I'm applying as a solo founder. So I'm applying to YC. And other than that, my main priority is to get funds from angels or micro VCs. I'm not keen to take money from big VCs right now. And the third thing is, what was the question?
like, what are the micro steps you have to take in order to reach out the investors, whether your pitch deck is ready?
Yeah. So my pitch deck is ready. But I need to add few more things, and for that I'm waiting for the product to get ready. Because two things. I already have many investors in my LinkedIn DM. Investors from India. So I never send them my pitch deck. So but I'm I'm not yet sending them for the reason because then they will ask me for a product demo. So that's why I'm waiting for the product to get ready, and in the meanwhile, I'll have casual conversations with whoever is reaching out to me or whoever I'm connecting with on Twitter. So my goal is that once the product gets ready, I'll I'll start sending out pitch decks to whoever is on my DM list, that, hey, this is my idea right now, this is my team, and this is what we are building. And if you want, let's chat anytime, and I'll give you a demo of my product. So that is my plan.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'm really excited about your YC application, because they should to reach out by Friday, right? Because the first interviews.
No. It's yeah. The interviews are on Friday. The deadline is tomorrow, so I'll have to apply today.
Yeah. I'm
So
talking about the interviews. It's such a short period, because sometimes people wait for several months to get the
yeah.
interview.
So YC, you can clearly understand where things are going. So YC is very, very I mean, it's going if YC is being so aggressive with AI, so we can understand where things are going.
Yeah, but anyway, even just filling in their application form is also useful, even if you don't get further.
Yes.
It really
Mm.
helps you to structure all your knowledge about your startup and answer some really deep questions. All right, Sachin, thank you for sharing those updates, setting the goals. I'll announce them publicly on Twitter, your goals.
Okay.
And we'll keep in touch. We'll follow your journey. We'll follow your product developments. And good luck with YC. Keep us updated.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
for as many clients as is possible.
Hopefully, I'll try to get more than.
Do it in public, you have nothing to hide.